Hello everyone, welcome to this quick video where we're going to run you through the update to the floor plan and heat pump task in Heatpunk. So we have the current floor plan task, as you can see here, just to give a quick kind of side-by-side of what's happening. We have the updated version here in a quick screenshot. Equally, we've got the heat pump task here where you do your heat pump sizing, radiator sizing, and then alongside that for comparison, we have the new task that we've pulled into the floor plan and created one quicker workflow. And now we're going to take you through the new workflow so you know what's going on. First of all, in our floor plan, we now have the option to kind of see heat loss as you go through. So we can see there we have current radiator outputs and how much that meets the room's heat loss. And we also have a flow temperature adjuster on the right there, so you can see the flow temperature that may be needed, as well as your system delta T now pulled into the floor plan. You can edit existing radiators with a cleaner modal now from the right-hand side, and that whole section is now new. You can enter into room details and get all of the access to all of the information that you need for the room. We have the ability for you to now add existing underfloor heating as well into the tool, and that can be modeled at the plan stage. So the plan, as we see there, essentially is to create the existing property. We also have the option for you to create or add notes to the project, which will now be useful for surveyors or designers to see kind of available radiator space and that sort of thing. You can, of course, hide the pane on the right-hand side to give you a larger workspace if you need it. Once we have completed the floor plan, this is where we would usually move through into the heat pump and radiator specification, but now that is all pulled into this floor plan section. We have the option here for you to obviously access the ventilation details and rename your option as we're showing you here. And you will also see that we have a bunch of tabs or sections now on the right-hand side where we've pulled in the heat pump, the hot water, and the emitters. We can now drag heat pumps and place them on the plan. So that gives the homeowner and potentially subcontractors a much better indication of where the heat pump is going physically on the plan. You can select that here and see if it meets the heat loss or not. And as we can see, we also have the ability for you to do cascaded systems, and you can now add more than one heat pump to a single project, and that data and outputs will be correct. That pulls through for your sound assessment, which is now completed within your heat pump section or your sources section. So we can see here we're just adding some information in to capture the sound assessment information for both heat pump 1 and for heat pump 2. In that little drop down we saw there, you have an indicator of whether the sound assessment has passed. And that, in fact, for this cascaded system and the information we've given, it's passed for both. We have the outdoor temperature, and equally, same with the heat pumps, we have the hot water cylinder, which can now be dragged into the plan and placed into position. That allows you to select the cylinder and then move on to your accessories. You can access your hot water information just by clicking on some of the buttons there on the right-hand side, as well as accessing all of your settings as you normally would be able to. If we navigate to the accessories tab, we will also see the ability or a much nicer kit builder modal here and the option for you to adjust quantities and choices. You still have access to your flow temperature slider here, and you have the ability to edit radiators on the plan itself. So if we wanted to upgrade an existing radiator, we would simply remove it. We will now get an indication on the right-hand side that that's been removed, as well as an indication of the original position of that radiator. We can drag a radiator in from the left-hand side, place that on the plan. We can see that on the right-hand side, and we can access the nice emitter modal that we see in Heatpunk currently, where you can access your different radiators, your custom radiators, and you can size those to make sure that you are meeting the heat loss for that room. We can also see the color differences on the plan, so that has now gone green as we have met the heat loss for that room. And we can see any existing or removed or new radiators in the plan. And as you will also see, if we needed to change a radiator position or add a new position entirely, that can be done here. And we will now see there's a visual indicator that that old radiator has been removed and where that was. In the options section at the top, this is where you're going to manage your surveyed plan, as well as any design options you're doing. So very useful for different flow temperatures, different heat pumps you might be specifying, and also different emitters that you might want to upgrade. So here we can see that I've duplicated that, and I can also remove that if I need to as well. Thanks for watching this quick update video on the new floor plan task in Heatpunk. You can access training and content for this via the email you received on Friday the 17th of April, or you can access it via the help section on Heatpunk. Thanks.